This content is based on a telepathic communication between the ninth density collective of Ra and their conduit, Joe. Welcome to the Book of Ashtara. In this chapter, we will explain how planet Earth is still divided between two polar opposites, the energies of Lemuria and Atlantis. We will accomplish this by connecting to the Arcturians, who serve as the semi-physical arm of the ninth density collective of Ra. The Arcturians have been present on Earth for millions of years, operating from active bases underground. We serve as scientists and teachers, observing, guiding, mentoring, and cautioning. At this pivotal point in your evolution, we aim to prepare humanity for what lies ahead. Achieving self-realization isn't simply about ascending swiftly through densities 1 to 8 and merging with your higher being upon entering the ninth heaven. It involves giving yourself several chances to stop, rethink, change direction if needed, and consider new information. Parts of the journey through the densities include stumbling, falling, and failing at times. Subsequently, finding another way forward requires analysis, recuperation, opening your mind to new perspectives, and later pursuing new paths. Progress involves taking 2 steps forward and 1 back. An astrologer would refer to this as retrograding, and from our perspective, everything expands only to later contract. Picture a spiral pushing all soul fragments higher, but soon after downwards again, forcing them to contemplate their experiences and re-evaluate their achievements. Life on planet Earth mirrors these cyclical movements. There are periods of prosperity, truth, and connectedness, followed by moments of hardship, disconnectedness, and disillusion. During a 26,000-year ascension cycle, humanity experiences both polar opposites, a golden age of enlightenment, but also a dark age of the mind. Most of the time is spent in either an upward spiral of increasing light or in a downward spiral of decreasing light. Sometimes the veil of amnesia is very thick, and other times thin indeed. Similarly to humans, Earth itself oscillates between highs and lows, moving forward and backward. Earth changes, including cataclysms, are inherent to life on the planet, and they too are cyclical in nature. Around 12,000 years ago, Earth faced a devastating flood, a challenging time on the planet, part of a cyclical process. That spelled the end of Atlantis. Lemuria met its end earlier. Humanity is now entering another phase of Earth changes, which will transform the planet. However, this coming shift doesn't signify an impending dark age. Instead, humanity is spiraling upward, approaching a golden age, coinciding with Earth changes. Humans are awakening from a very long slumber, a dark night of the soul. There is a need to remember your collective past, because the past, present, and future are tightly interconnected. To most humans, ETs don't exist. That is the collective truth, and the subject is deeply controversial and ridiculed. However, the majority of people watching this video are starseeds and have intuitively managed to look through the smoke and mirrors. The last few hundred years have been unique in the sense that there has been no open ET contact with the broader populace. In most other eras, ETs have been part of this planet in a more or less visible way. Around 12,000 years ago, humanity started a fast descent in consciousness and took a super leap backward in terms of spiritual maturity. You reached the bottom of the abyss and stayed there for a bit too long. Because of this, you are now about to leap forward, and this will happen very fast and the effects might feel uncomfortable. One step has already been taken, meaning you are now at the same level as Atlantis was by the time of the destruction of their civilization. Now, there is a need for another enormous leap forward, so that you land on solid fifth density ground, unable to fall back into the same level of darkness you are emerging from. Because even though the Golden Age is coming, you must stay aware of the cyclical movements of time. The tide will turn. It always does. Atlantis and Lemuria were highly different. This doesn't mean good and bad, it simply means they were polar opposites. The ancient Lemurian civilization emanated a Pleiadian energy and tone. The Arcturians bore witness to both its birth and demise. Centered around the wider Pacific Ocean, Lemuria was a culture of astonishing soft power, characterized by perfect balance and a heart-based approach to life. In stark contrast, the Atlantean civilization was closely intertwined with ET civilizations like the Anunnaki and Alteans. Our Arcturian species has engaged with most civilizations on Earth, those peaceful enough to allow contact and conscious enough not to succumb to fear. Our mission encompasses studying, mentoring, and warning, while we cautioned the civilization of Atlantis of impending destruction. We encouraged the Lemurian civilization to seek shelter underground when it became evident and unavoidable that the planet would drop in density. Underground, it was possible to survive even when the surface fell into chaos. The Lemurian and Atlantean energies were vastly different, and echoes of their influence persist on Earth today. At this moment in time, there is an energetic re-emergence of New Lemuria and New Atlantis. Additionally, new land, geologically speaking, is forming on the planet, signifying the second incarnation of the lost civilization of Lemuria. In a spiritual sense, there is also a strong resurgence of Lemurian energies through the awakening of starseeds. Since the 1950s, there has been a growing Pleiadian vibration through starseeds incarnating in great numbers. You following this channel are most certainly one of them, since resonating with this content requires a certain recollection of your Lemurian connection point. Following the destruction of ancient Lemuria, most soul fragments that were once incarnated there, bearing a Pleiadian soul imprint, never returned to Earth until recent times. However, a small group did seek shelter underground, where they still exist within pockets of higher density. With the arrival of millions of Lemurian starseeds, the power dynamics on Earth are shifting dramatically. Even though the Arcturians never pick sides in conflicts, our mission is clear. We aim to restore balance between the positive and negative polarities. This tends to mean encouraging the service to others' path and protecting the positive polarity. Today, the Lemurian energies are growing stronger each day as more starseeds are going through their awakening process. This happens alongside a strengthening of Atlantean energies through artificial intelligence and the merging of technology with biology. The Atlantean path is a more dangerous one since it can easily lead to extreme levels of service to self or negative polarity. We know what happened last time and are doing our best to guide the Atlantean energy towards a sustainable future. Ancient Lemuria was a fifth density civilization, while Earth has since descended to the third density. At the moment, Gaia is holding a fourth density focus. Consequently, Lemurian souls on Earth today encounter considerable challenges as they are forced to descend in density to the physical fourth and interact with humans of third density composition. The only reason they do this is because Gaia will soon shift her focus to the fifth density, and humanity needs external help to make the jump. This also means that the descendants of Lemuria, still dwelling in fifth density pockets underground as inner Earth collectives, will finally be able to re-emerge and live on the surface. Many things are happening simultaneously. The surface of Earth on this particular timeline will, in the near future, be of fifth density composition, meaning semi-physical. Any remains of the third density will by then be left behind on a parallel timeline, falling to the sidelines since Gaia's focus will be on the fifth. You are now in the midst of a period of change. There will be land masses of different vibrations until the bifurcation breaks the two Earths apart, forming a third density planet and a fifth density one. Energetically, this will be seen as big movements of people between geographical locations. Certain areas will attract people of a certain density. How long this period of two energies coexisting will last is not yet possible to say. However, at the latest by 2112, the event that separates the two will have taken place. This is an energetic timeline split, leading to the formation of two holographic planets of different densities. There is always a need to keep the collective and individual experiences clearly separated. On an individual level, the harvest happens at the time of passing, and you can jump timelines anytime you wish to. On a planetary level, this harvest happens in terms of a splitting of timelines, and this process is connected to the collective consciousness level of humanity, but more importantly, the collective planetary consciousness called Gaia. Despite this period on Earth being extremely turbulent, you, the descendants of Lemuria, have incarnated with a distinct purpose: to witness the recreation of Lemuria. As a result, geographical areas of higher density will be formed thanks to the energy you bring to the planet. Interestingly, Atlantis was not a fifth density civilization, even though the Anunnaki and Arcturians hailed from higher realms. You could say that Atlantis existed on a fifth density planet, but emanated a lower energy, which is not a sustainable equation. Atlantis' downfall stemmed from inner conflicts, with the energetic root cause being the strife between positive and negative polarities within the Anunnaki Empire itself. In essence, the Anunnaki were divided due to the conflict between the two brothers, Enki and Enlil. Despite the higher density of the ETs at the heart of Atlantis, what they manifested on Earth ultimately leaned towards a negative polarity. This serves as a perfect example of the complexity in categorizing ET civilizations as positive or negative. It simply doesn't neatly fit. Just as there are humans of pure heart and those of lower vibration, as evidenced in politics and within families, the intentions of the highly evolved Arcturians may have been noble, but the inner discord among the Anunnaki cast a shadow of conflict on the whole planet. We, the Arcturians, refrain from judgment. Life evolves with twists and turns, rarely following straight lines. However, the Anunnaki introduced conflict to this planet, a legacy that persists to this day. This influence has been evident through civilizations such as Egypt, Greece, Rome, and later through European colonialism, the Cold War, and up until today in spiritual conflicts among the three Abrahamic religions. In essence, the so-called Western world has been directly shaped by the Anunnaki paradigm. The Middle East was the birthplace of the Anunnaki power on Earth. The rest of the world has largely been influenced by the same Anunnaki mindset, but through indirect control. However, the energy of Lemuria is strong in the hearts of starseeds returning. There is also a soul imprint in the Earth's crust in countries and islands in the wider Pacific region, stretching from East Africa through Asia across the Pacific Ocean, encompassing the Pacific coastline of both North and South America. This Lemurian Pleiadian energy stands in stark contrast to the Anunnaki heritage. In addition, the energy of ET civilizations from the neighboring galaxy of Andromeda has greatly influenced India, Tibet, parts of China, and Southeast Asia. The Andromedan energy has had a dampening effect on the negative polarity brought to Earth by the Anunnaki, which grew exponentially in power with the destruction of Lemuria. Even though we the Arcturians never choose sides in any conflict, we do teach service to others, and Ra incarnates into many beings with the purpose of balancing the two polarities. For that reason, we naturally support New Lemuria and heart-based living, since the opposing polarity is way too strong at the moment. Today, We warn New Atlanteans not to lose their souls in the Age of Aquarius. We encourage new Lemurians to multiply and start pockets of heart-based communities and to draw their energy from Gaia by connecting to Ashtara. Until next video, breathe out all your worries. Then breathe in a brighter future for mankind.